Hey guys, and welcome back to another review. And yes, I do still have some tech suits to review. Today we're going to be looking at an older Speedo suit that it's pretty public knowledge that I'm not a fan of. But I haven't actually ever brought you a lengthy video on why that is the case. I am indeed talking about the Speedo Laser Racer X, Speedo's flagship suit launched in 2015. Before we get into why I do not like this suit, I would like to say if you do enjoy my videos, please can you subscribe, hit the notification bell and press the like button for this video. Now before the launch of this suit, Speedo had a couple of flagship jammers since the new age of suits in 2010. They'd had the Laser Racer Elite, which was literally the 2008 bodysuit without the polyurethane panels. They'd then launched the Fastskin 3 Super Elite, which no one liked and we're not going to get into. And then they went back to the Speedo Laser Racer Elite with the second iteration of it, which was pretty similar a suit, just with a few modern touches. And until 2015, that was still the go-to Speedo suit. It was comfy, flexible, good for a wide range of races, but it didn't have great compression. In 2015, they launched the Laser X. And this featured new materials, two new materials in fact if you have the woman's knee skin, but the only use of the second material that this has is in the inner lining. It had strategic taping down the sides of the legs for targeted compression, and suit manufacturers love that term, and it was extremely expensive. This was £265 for the standard cut back in 2015, and I know things are a lot more expensive now, but this was a very expensive suit. And even today, Speedo UK sell this for £185, and even with retailers such as Pro Swimwear, I can't find this cheaper than £185. I really can't. I think you might be able to get some better deals in the US, but in the UK, this is still an extremely expensive suit, even though it has been completely replaced by the new Pure Intent that I am a fan of, and you can check out my reviews up here. Now, while this wasn't a commercial flop like the Fastskin 3, which 0 of their top athletes ever wore at elite competition, bar maybe 1 or 2, I think maybe Tyler Clary wore it at the London Olympics, this was not super well received. And obviously people at an age group level bought it because it was the Speedo new flagship. It was more expensive than the Laser Elite, and if they like the Laser Elite and this was more expensive, it has to be better, right? No. And a few of the top athletes did prefer it to the Laser Elite, so you saw a few guys at international meets wearing this suit. It wasn't well received in my opinion, but it wasn't the same level of flop as the Fastskin 3. Potentially because of people not being a fan of it, Speedo didn't discontinue the Laser Elite, and the Laser Elite 2 and the Laser X went hand in hand until the Pure Valor and Pure Intent were launched. And while Speedo never actually distinguished which one would be better for certain athletes, in my opinion, this was their more sprint-orientated suit, and the Laser Racer Elite 2 was definitely your more comfy, distance-based suit. But again, this was never clarified, and Speedo never said, maybe if you don't sprint, you don't want the Laser X, or maybe if you're doing the 400 IM, you probably want to try the Laser Elite. Speedo never done any of that. Now, before I put it on and talk to you more about the ins and outs of this suit, one thing I do really like is how this suit looks. And I don't know, this is just one example of many colour schemes this suit comes in, but this purple with the gold seams, I mean, I don't know about you, but I think it looks really cool. In fact, I think Speedo make the best looking tech suits. I really do. I love the new Pure Intent colours. I love a lot of the Laser X variations. They do some red ones and some green ones and some black ones and some different colour seams and some multicolour ones. There's hundreds of colours available for this. I wouldn't even know where to start with how many they do. And although I did say in my Pure Intent video, I didn't like how they just threw them out and you didn't even ever know why some of them were released. And I do like how purposeful the Pure Intent colorways are. If you do actually look at how many different variations there are of these, you will find one you fall in love with. That's for sure. I've got the Laser X on, and honestly, this is the most difficult Speedo tech suit to put on. It's not high-waisted, it's got a very small cut, but because of how tight the waistband is and the leg grippers are, it is a bit of a struggle to just to get it up over your legs. And when it's on, it's really, really uncomfortable. Now, while it does have a less forgiving material than the Laser Elite, I wouldn't say it's a highly compressing suit. Definitely in the upper band, but definitely not one of the most compressing. But it sort of has this full compression effect based on how tight it is around the leg grippers and around the waistband. And they say in the marketing blurb that they really worked on making a comfy waistband. They didn't. This thing digs in, because it's so low, it digs in real uncomfortable places as well. Now you might be saying, are you wearing a too small size because of just how high it comes up on my thighs and how low it sits on my waist? But I don't think so. It's a size 25. It's the same as what I wear in the Pure Intent, and I don't think I could really get in a bigger size. And I don't think a bigger size would mean more length this way. I think it just would mean more wrinkles and looser around my legs, and that would not be what I want at all. I will say that they do keep their claims of the sort of X band here adding compression, and you can see indentations of where these tape run through my leg, and you can definitely see it's applying pressure here. So you do get compression under your glute and running through the front of your thigh. But in today's world, that's not smart taping. It's not the hamstring up kick support taping you're getting in the Pure Intent and the Mizuno and the Finis Rival. It just feels a bit weird, if anything, and maybe it does help my kick when my legs get fatigued, having that indentation here, but I've not felt it. Now going back to the small cut, and this is like the Speedo staple. Look at any top swimmers wearing a Speedo tech suit from before the Pure Series days. You will see this very low waist cut and this very high leg. It's almost like they're half the suit of their competition. And while you know I don't like the suits coming down to my kneecaps, I do want a little bit more coverage than this. Why would I not want a little bit more of my leg covered? Why would I not want it to sit on a comfortable place on my hips, in opposed to digging in right underneath my hip bone and around my crotch? Now this suit does come in a high-waisted version, and I really do think I would prefer that. And should I ever have to wear this suit again, I would probably try and do so in the high-waisted model. Now there are parts of the material that I like and the parts I don't. It is, as I said, a less stretchy and more compressive material than on the Laser Elite, and for sprints that would definitely suit my needs, and I would still probably choose this over the Laser Elite if I was racing a 50. The material is as well unlike any other suit, and I think so many suits feel like another model, and I'm not a huge fan of that. This one has a slightly almost rough effect. It's nice to see that they did create a brand new material for this model. But what I will say is, you can just see, I've not worn this suit a whole bunch of times, and I've just splashed some water over it, and you can already see the water has embedded itself into the suit. And there was a little bit of beading, you can see a little bit of beading, but most of it was absorbed. And in terms of water repellency, that's not a great sign. Being completely honest, I've not had any horrendous performances in this suit. When I have worn it, I've swum pretty decent on my PBs, and I think that's just because I wore it when I was in pretty good form. But that's not to say I felt like I enjoyed the experience. I felt its discomfort in my races. I felt it before and after the races, and it felt like it offered no support to my legs, even though on land it feels like they're quite tight. When I was kicking, I didn't feel like my legs were being aided. Now, the fact that this isn't a very good suit doesn't really matter, because now they have the Pure Intent. You've seen my reviews of that, you know I like it, and this is now completely replaced with a much better model. But I wish I was making this in different circumstances. I wish I could say, but actually you can now get this for £95 because it's discontinued, and that's probably a decent deal. But it's not. It's still such an expensive suit. I said I can't find it in Britain less than £185, and I just don't know why you would spend that much money on this suit. You can get so much better for less. I would still wear the Arena Carbon Air over this every day of the week, and you can get them for £100 happily now. It also has a lot of similarities to the Aqua Rapid Kronos, which I'm going to review next week, and that again is discounted to about £110. There's no reason in today's market you would ever buy this suit unless it gets a mighty discount, and I'm talking 50% or more. And that was one of the big reasons that I didn't like it from the get-go, was because of just how expensive it was on launch compared to everything else, and how it didn't actually offer anything to justify that increase in pricing. They didn't innovate hugely with this. Yeah, they used a new material and they added a little bit of taping, and it looks amazing. But beyond that, there was nothing in my mind that said this suit should be that much money. Anyhow, I hope this has given you a little bit of insight into why I hate the Speedo Laser Racer X. Thankfully, Speedo do a better model now. As always, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please do leave a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. I'll see you on the next video.